Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of On the Mark. It is Wednesday. It's a beautiful Wednesday here in Queen City, Nevis. It is the 7th day of November in the year 2018, and I'm sure you didn't expect to hear my voice again tonight. But guess what? You're stuck with me because I was here last week, and I'm here again this week hosting On the Mark on behalf of the Honorable Mark Brantley, who is unavoidably absent. And of course, I will be sitting in for him tonight to host another edition of the On the Mark show. Of course, this is a program that is aired every Wednesday night here on the Eastern Caribbean's powerhouse, Vaughan Radio 860 on your AM dial, www.vaughanradio.com. And of course, this show is a 2-hour commercial-free show. And of course, it is rebroadcast on a Thursday at 1 p.m. So if you missed it this evening, you can, of course, tune into the Eastern Caribbean's powerhouse tomorrow, Thursday, at 1 p.m. and you can get a repeat. And of course, what normally happens, you listen to the show on a Wednesday night, you love the show so much that you have to get it again on Thursday. So absolutely no problem. You listen tonight and listen again tomorrow. So I want to welcome all of you who are in tune to the Eastern Caribbean's powerhouse for this evening. Of course, I want to say good evening to all of you who are listening in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. Of course, those joining us across the region and those joining us by the World Wide Web in the diaspora at www.vaughanradio.com. It's always a pleasure to have you in tune and logged on to the Eastern Caribbean's powerhouse, especially on a Wednesday night. On the Mark is a widely listened to show, maybe the most listened to show, and of course lots of persons always tune in, and we know lots of persons always stick by their telephones to call as well. So of course a little later on the phones will be opened and you'll be able to call in and make your comments, make your suggestions in terms of what we're discussing. And of course, the numbers to call are 869-469-1616 or 1700. And of course, at the top of the show, we normally take care of a little housekeeping business. And so I just want at the top to say once again, it is a pleasure to host the show on behalf of the Honorable Mark Brantley. Thank you for that opportunity. And we're going to be having a wonderful, extremely wonderful show this evening. And I want at the top as well to just say happy birthday to those of you who may be celebrating today. And I hope you've had a wonderful day so far. I hope the day has gone exceptionally well. And I want you to enjoy what's left of your special day. If you would have celebrated earlier this week, belated birthday greetings to you. If you're celebrating tomorrow, advanced birthday greetings to you. Or if you're celebrating for the rest of the week, we hope you're going to have a fantastic time on your special day. And we also have to reach out as well. We normally reach out to those who are not doing so well. For those in the bereaved column, we want to say good night to you as well. I want to say a special good night to the Hanley family there at Rice's Village. And those who are even not living in Rice's Village, just say a special good night to Mr. Bob Burnell Hanley, to your sister there, Leona. And of course, the Petra Granton family over there in Jessups. They would have lost their mom, my very dear friend, Miss Emily Hanley. They would have lost last week. The funeral that was this afternoon at the St. George's Anglican Church was a wonderful, wonderful send-off for a lovely, very quiet, pleasant, humble and God-fearing lady, and I said, who was my very, very dear friend. And I was there at the funeral, and the person turned out in their numbers, and it was a wonderful send-off for our very dear Emily Hanley. And of course, I also want to send some greetings to the Powell family there at Central in at Market in Gingerland. And of course, we would have lost, all of us would have lost Mr. Samuel Powell suddenly last week, and what a blow it was for all of us and for the whole of Nevis. And I want to say, just want to reach out to his wife, Viana, to his daughter, Vinel, and the rest of the family, wherever you are. And the whole of Nevis is in mourning over the sudden passing of Mr. Powell. What a wonderful person he was. I've had the privilege of working with him for a number of years at the Agriculture Department. He would have taught me in the law forms when I was in high school, agriculture. And then he would have come to work with the department. Before that, he would have worked for Cardi as a technician. And he was small in stature, but a powerhouse in the agricultural sector here in Nevis. He would have done so much for the development of agriculture on the island of Nevis. And I really want to say, pay my tribute to him here via this medium and say what an extraordinary person he was, and what a marvelous contribution he made to the agriculture and to the agricultural sector and to the development of agriculture on Nevis. Of course, he was very, very diligent in all that he did at the agriculture agricultural sector. He oversaw the Open Day for a number of years. He would have been very involved in the Nevis model, where the agriculture department was providing agricultural products to the hotels on the island, and he was just so much a part of what took place there. And of course, even after he left, after he retired, he continued to be a part of the agriculture sector here in Nevis. He continued to be a part of the agriculture department. Practically everything that the agriculture department did, he was involved. He was there for every open day, for the preparation, every other activity that the agriculture department was hosting, or the agricultural ministry. He was ever present. Agriculture was in his heart, and he was definitely one of the powerhouses who moved and shaped, who assisted in revolutionizing agriculture on the island of Nevis. And we are really indebted to what he would have done for us in the agricultural sector. And I know the Methodist community, they will miss him immensely. He was everything in the Methodist Church in Gingerland. Everything. He was the organist from since I knew myself there in Gingerland at the Methodist Church, with the choir, with the Methodist expressions, anything to do with any of the little gadgets in terms of the sound at the church is always there. And Mr. Powell will be sadly missed. I'm so happy, though, that they are getting the Gingerland Methodist Church ready for that service for him on Saturday. And it's a fitting tribute for them to be able to get it ready to host the service there on Saturday morning. It's at 9:30, so we're asking persons to go out in their numbers to pay your tributes, your last respect to a man who would have done so much for Nevis in every aspect, in every regard. And I had tremendous respect for Mr. Powell, and he will be sadly missed. And I want to extend sympathy greetings to his family and all who are mourning his loss at this time. And of course, we also have another death in Gingerland. Jimmy there at Churchcut, to his family. I know most of his relatives reside in England. I know some of them are already here, but I extend greetings to you as well. And just anyone who is mourning, we say God's grace and mercy will keep you. And I also want to say good night to all of the folks who are not feeling so well. If you're in the hospital, good night to you. And we hope that you're going to get better very, very soon. All right, with that out of the way, I just want to, before, I do have a guest in the studio. And before I get to my guest, just some other information I just want to pass on right about now. Of course, we have the Tape Ball League that is going on. Apparently, I think they're actually having a match tonight. I was trying to call to get an update on what's happening there, but I didn't get an answer. But the Tape Ball Cricket League has been going on for some weeks now. It's organized by the Department of Sports, one of the departments under my watch. And I want to say kudos here to the Department of Sports, to the director, Jamia Claxon, the assistant, Brian Dow, and the entire team there at the Department of Sports for organizing the tournament. And of course, the Development Bank of St. Kitts and Nevis, our sponsor. Thank you so much for coming on board. I have been to several of the matches, and they've been going well. They've been attracting some good crowds. They have been entertaining, and I really want to say kudos to the department, to the Development Bank, and of course, big kudos and commendation to the teams that have come out to take part and to participate in this tournament. Right now, I think it is very intriguingly poised. I know that the finals was originally scheduled to take place this coming Sunday, but I'm not sure whether or not it will take place on Sunday based on what has been happening. Of course, the games that were scheduled to take place this past weekend, we know we had some welcome showers, and so because of the showers, those games were not able to be played on Saturday and Sunday. And so I think they're having a game tonight, and of course that game will decide, as I think there are two teams that are already through to the semi-finals. And so I think that the game that is being played tonight will decide which other teams will go through to the semi-finals. And as I said, I know the finals were scheduled for this Sunday, but I'm not sure based on what's happening whether or not the finals will be played on Sunday. And so we want to thank those who have been coming out and supporting the Tape Ball Cricket League. And once again, I really I'm very heartened by the Department of Sports for organizing this to ensure that cricket is being played at the ETW Park and the clubs are involved in some cricket. I also want to say that this coming Saturday, the 10th of November at 7 o'clock at the Church Ground Hard Court, we'll see the start of the Malcolm Guichard Memorial League. And of course, that league is sponsored every year by the host of this show, the Honorable Mark Brantley, the Premier of Nevis and the area representative for St. John's. And Mr. Brantley has been sponsoring that league now for a number of years. And of course, we want to say thanks to the Premier for sponsoring that league. And of course, we know that we'll be kicking off this coming Saturday. So we're asking all of the basketball lovers, those of you who love sport in general, to go out and support the start of the league. And as I said, it is this coming Saturday at 7 o'clock. At the Church Ground Hard Court. And while I'm speaking about the league that should commence on Saturday, I must stick a pin here and I must congratulate and say kudos to Miss Shakima Wanda Parry, who has been the president of the Nevis Basketball Association for a number of years. And I have to say that Wanda has been doing an outstanding and excellent job in terms of being the head of that association. She has organized so many tournaments, so many leagues, and she's just always on the go in terms of keeping basketball alive on the island of Nevis. And Wanda, I must say, take a bow. Congratulations to you and your executive, your team that normally organize these events, and you have really been at the forefront and you have been doing yeoman service to ensure that basketball is being played on the island of Nevis, to ensure that young people are involved in something meaningful. I know the last NABA league that was played, it was the theme was to fight crime, and I found that was very, very meaningful. And I have to say as well that Wanda is a lady, and she has been leading with distinction with the basketball league. But I have to say here as well that the other associations on the island of Nevis, the other sporting associations, you know, I was going to say that they need to pull their socks up. But some of the other associations in Nevis, they don't have on any socks at all. Some of them don't have on any shoes at all, either. Neither socks nor shoes. They are going barefoot, and people stopped going barefoot a long time ago. And I have to say here that the other associations, talking like cricket, football, they are missing in action. I know I'm going to get some licks for saying this, but the whole of Nevis was totally embarrassed when our cricket team went to Montserrat earlier this year, and I think they placed last. That is not acceptable for a cricketing country like Nevis. It's absolutely not acceptable. And I know my Department of Sports is doing a lot in terms of playing cricket. But the thing is that we cannot take over the association. Because of international and regional standards, the department, the government cannot take over the association. We will not be recognized by the Leewards Board. We will not be recognized by the West Indies Board. And I'm saying here that the associations on Nevis, you get a lot of support from the ministry, my ministry, but you are not pulling your weight. And you need to put on some socks and pull them up. Put on socks, put on shoes, and pull them up, because you all are missing in action. And that is not good. That is absolutely not good. And we can't accept that. Nevis will not accept that from our sporting associations. You all need to take a leaf or page from the book of Miss Parry, who has been doing such an outstanding job with basketball. All right? And so please, as I said, I know persons are going to get upset with me for this, but I have to be frank, because I'm the Minister of Sport, and the ministry has been supporting the associations, but they are not doing anything. Some of them probably, I don't know if they're probably on the way to the undertaker or if they're there already. So I have to speak frankly, and I know people are going to get upset, but that is the way it is. That is the way it is. And because I can speak so passionately about Wanda, and I need you all to take a page of Wanda's book and get the associations going. All right. And since I'm talking about cricket as well, I also need to say as well that because cricket is at such a point in Nevis, I'm heartened to say that Mr. Keith Atherton, who was one of our outstanding West Indies cricketers, he would have come to Nevis. He would have seen the plight of Nevis cricket, and he would have come. Thank you, Keith. He would have come to launch a program here this past Saturday. And it is a development program for youngsters from, I think it's from 6 to 15 years. I understand the turnout was excellent. Unfortunately, I was not able to attend. But I want to say kudos to Mr. Keith Atherton. You know, he resides in St. Kitts now. He would have done a lot there in St. Kitts, and he's insisting that, listen, I have to do some more for my hometown of Nevis. And I want to tell the young persons who will be involved in this program, grab the opportunity. Money is there to be made from cricket. Money is there to be made from sports. And we are trying to push as much as possible. And so I want the youngsters who would be involved in this coaching program that is being led by Mr. Keith Atherton to kindly grab the opportunity, get involved in sports, stay away from the drugs, stay away from the crime, get involved in cricket, get high on sports. And I also want to say as well that the Development Bank of St. Kitts and Nevis, they are on board with Mr. Atherton as well. And I must say that the Development Bank of St. Kitts and Nevis has been at the forefront with regards to supporting sports on the island of Nevis. And I must say kudos to the Development Bank of St. Kitts and Nevis for always jumping on board. Of course, you heard me speak about them when I spoke about my department, State Ball League. So they are sponsoring the State Ball League, and now they're coming back here to support Keith Atherton. So kudos to the Development Bank of St. Kitts and Nevis. Keep supporting sports. Keep supporting our young people. All right, that's a mouthful. Probably too much. All right. I have somebody in the studio with me, and you know, I'm really excited tonight. Because we're going to be discussing something tonight. And, you know, if I could probably give a guess, give us a quiz, and somebody could only guess as to what we'll be discussing tonight, I don't think anybody at all will get that guess right. And if I give away $1 million tonight and said, somebody calling now and ask, tell us what we'll be discussing, I don't think anybody, absolutely anybody, would have any clue as to what we'll be discussing tonight. All right? Anyway, I think I've said a lot already, so I'm going to let my guest introduce. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening. You're on the mark.
Good evening.
How are you?
I am good. The answer is Abonati. We're there with you.
Abonati there with me?
Yeah.
Here with me where? In the studio?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't ask who is here with me, you know.
Oh, well, that's the answer.
Anyway, you have your scripture for me tonight?
Yeah.
Talk. Give me your scripture.
Psalm 23, verse 6.
Mm-hmm.
Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me
Mm-hmm.
all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever.
Mm-hmm.
Good night to my cousin and my nephew over there in Canada. Sympathy is going out to the Hanless family at Rice's village on the passing of their mother, Emily Elsie Hanley. Sympathy is going out to Vinell Powell and Elmer Liburn on the passing of one Phineas Samuel Powell, for his daughter and for his brother Elmer Liburn on Main Street, Gingerland. Good night. Have a good
Thank you so very much, and it's always a pleasure to have you call in with your scripture every week religiously. Thank you so very much. So as I said, I have a guest in the studio. I'm going to let him introduce himself. We have a lot to talk about tonight. A lot. I'm not sure if the 2 hours will be enough, but we have so much to talk about tonight. I'm so excited. I'm going to let my guest introduce himself.
Good evening, the Honorable Minister. I'm no stranger to the studios of One Radio. I've been here several occasions on a Saturday night with you as we hosted Culturama Talk. Now we are on the other end.
Yes.
We have Mr. Marston Lee at the controls. I want to say good evening and to piggyback on at the top of the program when you sent out sympathy greetings to Bob, former classmate, Petra, a very good friend of mine. And it's only this afternoon that while at the funeral there was a Bob and Petra's sister who told me that I taught her in school, which I had no recollection of that. So I want to extend sympathy greetings to them. Bob also serves as the financial controller for the Nevis Culturama Committee. And so, you know, a few of us would have attended the funeral this afternoon in support of Bob. I also want to extend condolences to my neighbor, Viana and Vinell, for the passing of my former teacher, Samuel Powell, very good neighbor. And Eric, I don't know if you can recall back in the mid-80s when we when we would have attended college in Trinidad.
Yes.
My Sam was very special to me back then, because I remember there were some times when, you know, on a Saturday what we used to get for lunch.
Yes.
And I did not like. And so what I used to do, I used to go down to the University of the West Indies. And I used to time my travels in such a way that I got there just around lunchtime, 12 o'clock.
And you never took me with you. You didn't want to share.
And, you know, those guys, Murchie, Sydney, Sam,
Yes,
they were there.
they
And
were
they had,
there.
they had what they call a boat. Al Edwards, those guys from Sinkins.
Mm-hmm.
The boat meaning that they would pool their resources, their funds, and they would cook. And I only had to show up and allow Sam to see me. And Sam would say, hey, guys, Abo is here. Not Abo, Tony is here. And I know my lunch will be provided. I couldn't allow you to come with me to cut my share short. You know, and that has always stood out about Sam. While I was in Trinidad studying, you know, he looked out for me. I don't know if you recall, one afternoon while we were at AKF, he led a contingent, Murchie and the other guys, they came up
Yes.
to make sure
We were okay.
that we were okay. And you know, my stint in Trinidad, along with Sam, he really stood out for me. I remember one day I was at the university and he told me, Tony, let's go to my room. And when he got up to his room, he pulled out an envelope and he told me, read that. And if you happen to be in the area, you are invited to come along. That is when he got married to my good cousin, Vasily Powell.
Okay.
So, you know, we have always been close. I want
Right.
to say condolences to the entire family. And I also want to say condolences to Jimmy. I think a large contingent of his family came in this afternoon. The funeral, I understand, is going to be on Friday. So, in Gingerland, your constituency,
Yes, we're getting some licks.
We have 3 deaths
Yes.
there. 3 persons that close to you and
Yes.
also close to myself. So it's good to be here. Your caller put you on a spot. Your caller said that I would have been here, but she did not answer the question.
No.
So the $1 million is off of the table.
Off the table long time. All right, Abo, as I said, you're here for a specific reason, but I'm sure you want to discuss something before you get to that meat of what we're going to be discussing tonight.
Well, my purpose here this evening is twofold. I serve as a member of the Gingerama committee, hence the reason why I have on my Gingerama shirt this evening. And you know that at this time of the year, we would have been talking a lot about the hosting of Gingerama. When we revived the festival in 2016, we had it like the middle of December, and we looked at the effect that the VAT Day would have had on the participation in 2016, and then in 2017 we moved it to the end of November, the last weekend in November, rolling over into December. And one of the other reasons why we would have changed it too is that in the heart of December, persons were complaining, boy, market shop is cold. And so we had, you know,
It's normally cold.
it's getting
Very cold.
It's getting cold already. And so we would have moved it. But Eric, we would have had some challenges. You have been the chairperson of the Gingerama committee, the revived the Gingerama committee. And we would have had some challenges with getting the venue prepared. Major difficulties. The fencing has created an enormous amount of challenges for us to get the galvanized and then to get them in place so that we could block out all of the eyes and those persons who would want to jump over the fence to avoid having to pay and all that. And last year, Sandra Brown, she would have. We have a call online, Eric.
Good evening. You're on the mark.
Yeah, this one talking about 2015, not 16.
Hello. I didn't get that. I think somebody sent about 2015 and a 2016, Abo.
Yes. Was it 2015 Gingerama was revived? How many stages of Gingerama we have had?
I think we've had 3.
I think we have had three.
Yes.
We have had three.
Yes, so the
Okay,
person is
so
correct.
I-
Thank you,
I
sir.
must
Thank you,
apologize.
caller.
We probably need to give them a ticket for when we,
Thank you, caller. You're on the ball.
yeah, yes. And so, yes, so we would have had three stagings of the revived Gingerama. The challenges, getting the venue prepared, getting down the stage, and having to expend a lot of money to put tents in place to use as the dress rooms, and then having to have a structure in place to store our tables, our chairs after the event. It has been a challenge for us. And so we approached the Nevis Island administration last year, and was it like, yes, last year, and along with Mr. Livingston Herbert, we were given the okay to get some plans in place. We engaged the firm of Brands Architectural Services. We secured the drawing. We presented it to the NIA. We were hoping that the village would have started being, well, the construction of the village would have started right after the end of Gingerama last year. The budget was late this year because of the elections and all that, and then we had some other challenges. And so we were not able to construct the village. And I must let the people know too, Eric, this is another serious problem that we encountered last year. We approached a company here on Nevis to assist us with some plywood to construct our concessionary area,
Yes.
booths. And lo and behold, man, I really do not even want to say it on the radio, but when we went back to dismantle the booths, all of the plywood were gone. Someone stole our plywood. And so, you know, it has been an uphill task for us. And so we decided this year that since you came to office, you have been pushing to have the start of the Gingerama village, and we have been promised that construction should start before year end. And so the committee took a very wise decision. We met as a group, and we took the wise decision to put the Gingerama festival on hold for this year, to allow for the construction of the Gingerama village. And Eric, probably I can elaborate on what the new look Gingerama village would be. We are going to have a stage in the same position that we have had the stage in for the past, well, the last two.
Yeah.
The last two. Right up under that fence along the Crony House. We are going to have a stage. We are going to have a backstage. We are, I think we have four dress rooms, 2 males, 2 females. They will each be equipped with a bathroom, and then we are going to have some public bathrooms at the back. And then what we are going to be doing is that we will be putting in a wall, a block wall, around the perimeter of the village. That would take care of phase 1. We're also going to be putting in about 3 or 4 booths, because we want the vendors in Gingerland to be given an opportunity to make some money during the staging of the festival. Now, one of the objectives of reviving and staging Gingerama is to create some economic activity in Gingerland.
Yes.
At that time of the year, we want to give the Nelvas and the whoever's, I even forget the others, the Murtlins and the others, an opportunity to make some money in Gingerland. It's not every time that they have to come to town, to Charlestown, to vend and be given that opportunity to make money. And so, we want to create that kind of economic activity in Gingerland. And so we're going to be putting in some booths, I think it's about 4 or 5. And that would, also we are going to move the entrance gate, because right now it is right on the market shop corner.
Which is not good.
It's not good.
Dangerous.
It's a serious traffic hazard. The police has said to us, it's dangerous having persons enter from
And it
there.
certainly is.
Yeah, so we have a call.
Good evening. You're live and on the mark.
Yes, good evening.
Yes.
Do you know man St. John Fletcher, who carried the boat for SP?
I didn't get that. I'm sorry, it's on the mark show. You're on the air, so I think that is a call for off the air. Go ahead, Abo.
Yes, and so we are going to put that entrance gate now on the side leading up to Rollins.
Yes.
So that is going to take care of phase 1 of the construction of the Gingerama village. And then phase 2 would be sometime later when there's a drop-off. There's a drop-off on the southern ends of the end of the ground. We are hoping that we will get a stand constructed there with a proper roof that could house persons. And then on the bottom, on the lower section, we have a kitchen, a storeroom, a bar. And one of the things that we want to do in that kitchen area is have some partner with the Department of Community Development Department to organize some training sessions, cake making,
cooking classes,
cake decorating, those sort of things, right in the heart of Gingerland. You know, Market Shop used to be the hub of, it should be a hub of activity in Gingerland, and we want to kind of bring that back.
Yes.
And I think that the construction of the Gingerama village is going to greatly enhance some activity right there in the heart of Gingerland, and give the people of Gingerland an opportunity to master some skills at something like the cooking classes. Also, the stage that is there, it's going to be the Gingerama village, yes, but it's going to be like a performing arts center, performing arts area, cultural center, because we want the cultural
art forms,
right, that's the word I was searching for, in
Yes.
Gingerland to flourish. And so that venue would provide an opportunity for us to teach masquerade, clowns, get a group of young persons who are interested in fife blowing, have
kettle drum playing,
the whole 9 yards,
right,
across the cultural landscape of Gingerland. We know that Chris Hanley, we have stuck with Chris from 2016 when we revived Gingerama. Chris came.
2015. Don't let the person have to call back again.
he blew the national anthem. He was not perfect, Eric.
But he has come a long way.
We persisted with him.
Very long
brought
way.
him back in 2016, brought him back in 2017, and he perfected it.
I am proud of him now.
Very, very proud of him. So we want to develop some more Chris in Gingerland.
And we need them.
Right.
Because you know that David the Maestro is off the scene
Is
now.
off of the
and
scene.
we need some more five players in Nevis.
Right.
And if we can get some from Gingerland, better yet.
And so the Gingerama village is going to be like a multi-purpose center for Gingerlanders. And so we would want to give the NIA that opportunity to start the construction, and once they would have completed phase 1, then we are going to come back with Gingerama 2019.
And I have to say here, Abo, as well, that of course I know that I, as the Minister of Culture, I've promised the Gingerama Committee that we should have started earlier, but we do have some delays with the planning, and I've been in touch with Minister Brand, because I am insisting that that village must start before the end of 2018. I'm insisting that it has to start before the end of 2018. And as you rightly said, of course, it will be used for so many things. Of course, we know that Gingerland, Abo, St. George's used to be the mecca of folklore.
Exactly.
And we want to bring it back. We want to bring it back.
And so, Eric, we do not want to leave the good folks of Gingerland, of Nevis, because we know that Gingerama has been supported by persons from all across Nevis. And so the Gingerama committee sat, we deliberated, and we came up with an activity that we would be having on November the 30th You can recall the name of the event, Eric?
Volcanic Fusion.
Volcanic Fusion. I was just testing your memory to see if you know, in your busy schedule, if you are still following.
I know those ladies on the Gingerama committee would not forgive me if I didn't remember the name.
and so Volcanic Fusion. You know, we have a little chat group. We threw out the idea of having a name for the event. Several options or suggestions were made, and then we decided that we are going to go with Volcanic Fusion. So that event, we are hoping that it will be, we're not hoping, it is going to be a fundraising event towards Gingerama 2019.
Yes.
Because once we come back with a new facility, a new venue, we want Gingerama 19 to
go off with a bang
and even rival Culturama. And so we would want to have good startup capital for Gingerama 19. So we're having this event. It's November the 30th. It's a Friday night. Unfortunately, though, we have to bring that event to Charlestown because there is no other place in Gingerland that is secured that we can have that event. And so it's going to be at the Cultural Village. It starts at 9 p.m. and it goes right down until 5 a.m. And the entertainment for that evening, out of St. Kitts, we have the Horny Band, Your Band, the Grandmasters Band. We also have the Collision Band. And those are two bands out of St. Kitts. Now, I know that persons are going to say, well, what is happening with the bands in Nevis? We wanted to, well, we had originally contacted the core band because it's a somewhat Gingerland-based band.
Yes.
Corey is from Gingerland. And after giving us a commitment, he then realized that he had another engagement. And so he would want to fulfill that engagement. And we are not a selfish committee. We wanted to give him that opportunity to fulfill that engagement. And so it's going to be the Collision Band out of St. Kitts, the Grandmasters Band of St. Kitts, DJ Tero out of St. Kitts as well, and we are going to have our own out of Nevis, the Ecstasy Sound featuring DJ Woodies. And so it's going to be an evening of musical entertainment right there at the Cultural Village. We are going to be selling booths, and so persons who are interested in well, let me back up. The Gingerama committee will be operating the drink booth, and we are giving Gingerlanders an opportunity to operate the food booth. And so anyone who would want to vend food only, and I must stress that.
Yes.
Food only. You can contact Miss Sandra Brown at the Department of Community Development, or Ronica, or Jazz. Those are members, or the lady I'm forgetting her name, the lady in Rollins, Lee Parry's sister,
Tracy.
Those are persons on the Gingerama committee that you can contact. Let them know that you would want to be a part of this event. You would want to come and vend as a food vendor. We want to give persons of Gingerland that opportunity.
And the first choice will be to the vendors who normally come for Gingerama as well.
Right, exactly.
Yes.
And so, you know, I just want to encourage each and every one. And we are only charging a small. I can't say it any softer. I want to emphasize how small.
Minute.
Micro-minute. Gate entrance fee of only $25.
That's
for
a giveaway.
All that
That's
entertainment. It's a giveaway.
It is a giveaway.
And it's probably one of your first gifts to the people of Gingerland, to the people of Nevis.
Certainly.
To make this event for Gingerama so affordable.
Yes.
And we want to
extremely affordable. You can't get that anywhere else.
You can't get that anywhere else, man.
With that lineup.
And so we want to have the Cultural Village
full.
Just like Wetfed Culturama 44, when we had to close the gates at some point and assess if there was room or there's room inside. We want the same thing to happen.
Yes.
We want the cultural village to be filled. We are promoting heavily on St. Kitts. We have a promotional poster that is out. This week we released a promotional video. The Grandmasters Band is promoting it heavily on all 3 of their Facebook pages. And you know, DJ Woodis is promoting it because Ecstasy Sound is going to be one of the sounds there. And so we want the persons from St. Kitts, although they're having carnival celebrations over there, we want them to come over to Nevis.
Of course.
I know that last year when we had what was it, Formula 4 or 5 at the Gingerama Village when we partnered with Morton, Philip Adelvin, and those guys, Panko's son. A number of persons came over from St. Kitts, and so we want another person to come over and support that Gingerama event that we are planning. So once again, it's a fundraising event. It's Friday, November the 30th at the Cultural Village from 9 p.m. right down until 5 a.m. We have the Grandmasters Band, we have the Collision Band, we have DJ Tero, and we have DJ Woody's Ecstasy Sound.
Fantastic. Well, it sounds good to me, and I mean, for a giveaway price of $25, I still can't digest that for $25 with all of that, and for almost an all-night dance.
Yeah.
And of course, I just want to endorse all of what Abba would have said in terms of what is going to be happening at the Gingerama Village, and in terms of this activity that we're planning to promote. Of course, to have a fundraiser for Gingerama next year. Of course, I'm very, very happy. I am still the chairman of Gingerama, and I heard all of the information, but I'm so happy that I am not the one who had to give you all this information tonight. I'm so happy that Abo is here. He is a part of the Gingerama committee, and I want to say good night to all of the other members of the committee. I hope you are listening, and we're here to promote this in a very big way, and we're working hard, and we want persons to come out and support the activity. And of course, security is going to be there, so the action is going to be tight, the entertainment is going to be awesome, and so you need to come out and support. And Abo, as you talk about that action on the Friday night, I also have to jump in here and say, well, it's going to be an action-packed night, action-packed weekend, sorry, because guess what? The Empire Sports Club, we're also having our dance the following night. The Saturday the 1st of December.
Where are you going to get energy from? Remember?
I am going to get the energy.
No. Let me set the record straight. And Jazz, I know that you would support me.
Because Jazz is coming to our dance as well.
Oh, God.
Jazz has to be at our dance. We cannot have a dance without Jazz being here.
You would have to be at the dance. Let me tell you.
I will be at the dance all night. And then when I go home, I'm going to sleep.
6 o'clock.
Yes.
So I don't know where you're going to get energy from.
I am going to go home and sleep on Saturday.
To the Empire Sports Club.
I'm going to go home and
in the evening.
We have a caller online. Good evening, caller. You're live on the mark.
Yes, I'm going to try and mark and fun.
Good night. It's not try and mark tonight. It's Eric again tonight.
Okay. And bringing them up. And
wonderful.
And Okay. What I want to know is the King Up Boys Wellington Road, where the buildings for the buses there, you terminal. Yeah, it look nice, better than the one where down by the bay. Yes, and I hope they clear it.
Okay.
And we hope we have a good there when the senator. And I wanted Mr. Trump to stop his stupidity. Because we are feeling it, and a lot of people here from country. So we hope everything will cool down.
All right, darling.
Tell Nana happy birthday.
Today's Nana's birthday?
Yes.
My Nana?
Yeah, Nana. From down here.
Okay, all right. Nana, good night to you and happy birthday. Thank you very much for calling. And of course, thank you very much. And I know the persons would have heard you, and I agree with you that bus stop that is being constructed on Wellington Road is looking spanking. It really looks good. But getting back to what I was saying, Abo, it is going to be a packed weekend because the Empire Sports Club, we are celebrating our 39th anniversary. Heading into our 40th next year. It's going to be a big year for us next year. We normally have one of our activities is normally anniversary dance, a 35 and over dance. So that's happening on the following night. So those of you who go to the village on the Friday, please get some energy to come back on the Saturday to Revere House. 10 p.m. to 3 a.m. The Casanova Band. Good evening. You're live on the mark.
Good evening, Eric.
How are you doing?
I am doing well.
Fantastic.
And good evening to my good friend Abernathy.
Yes.
Yes, Tessa.
I am listening to you guys, and I'm excited just listening to you trying to revive Gingerama and the plans for the new home of Gingerama.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Eric, I'm
Yes.
going to put you. Well, first of all, I'm going to say to you, Eric, being a minister of government means that you only keep getting younger and younger. I hope you understand that.
Thank you. I'm aware of that. Everybody tell me I look younger. God is good. And I will continue to get younger and look younger with all the prayers and the blessings.
Well, if you keep busy.
With all the people who I'm in love with and who are in love with me. Including you.
Lord, Eric, I'm putting my business out there. Like that.
Special anointing, Tessa.
You know, Abo,
Yes, Tessa.
I'm going to put you on the spot.
No problem.
It's
me on the
nice
spot, not the
to
minister.
hear the event that you're having for Gingerama. Could we be looking at the launch of Gingerama for 2019, Abo?
At the event on November the 20th?
Yes.
No. We want to make some money for us.
Okay. Well, I'm going to put you on the spot even further and urge you, and you know that we've always had these private conversations
Well,
about this.
before you go, we come into that. That's in the second half of this program.
All right. Okay.
I know what you're gonna say.
Don't jump
I
the
know what you're
gun.
going to say.
Oh, what you say?
Don't jump the gun.
Call back when we get to that
Don't
point.
drop the gun.
Well, let me also just add what I wanted to. I want to publicly congratulate you for finally listening to my advice.
We come into that. We come into that.
Finally listening
We
to
come
my
into that.
advice.
So call back.
And no. And to launch. Well, okay. I will call back.
Yeah,
Call back,
Call
please.
back. Call back.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Okay, I'll
Thank
keep
you.
listening. Okay,
All right. And we have another caller. Good evening. You're on the mark.
Hello.
Hi. Good evening.
Hi, good evening, Eric, and good evening, Abo.
Why is good night? What are you doing up? You're all the way in London. You up still?
Yeah,
What's the time
well,
there?
I'm listening, and really, I'm feeling.
What's the time there, Abo, in England?
It's quarter to 2.
It's
Or
about
10 minutes to 2.
10 to 1.
All right.
10 to 1.
Okay.
Eric, I'm delighted as a Gingerlander to hear what's going to happen at the Gingerama village, because I've been bombarded with questions, although I'm here. Everybody keep asking me what happened to Gingerama, when the village is going to start. I keep telling them that must have some faith in the minister, because I know Eric is going to deliver that village. And I'm keep telling them that I believe the village is going to start sometime this year. And I'm delighted to hear what you and Abo is saying tonight.
Yes.
I mean, really and truly, Gingerland is the mecca of culture, and that's going to elevate Gingerland more. And I'm hoping that it's be done as quick as possible, so that the people of Gingerland can get some place to go, and the culture aspect of it in terms of the big drum, the string band, the fife playing, and so that a lot of people can learn how to play this art form, because it's in our blood. And really, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling glad to hear what's going to happen, and I'm certain I'm going to be part of it. As a person who was there at the start of Gingerama in 2002, in 2001 as a chairperson for the traditional night, along with Denrick and along with Annette and all those persons who really sat and make this Gingerama reality. I'm good to hear that the tradition is continuing with Abo, with Eric, and with everybody else that's participating. So I'm feeling delighted.
Thank you.
As a Gingerlander.
Thank you very much. And yes, I'm not going to deliver. The people of Gingerland will deliver the village, and the people of Gingerland will deliver a lot more. We will work together. But Weiss, thank you for calling, and say good night to the madam.
Okay, be good.
Thank you. All right, so we got to move quickly, Abba, because time is running. I did say that I don't think we have enough time tonight. But I just want to say quickly once again that the Empire Sports Club, we're having our dance, our 35 and over dance at Revere House on Saturday, the following night, on Saturday, the 1st of December. The house band will be the Casanova Band, of course, 10 p.m. until 3 a.m., only $20. Tickets are already available, so check me or any members of the club for your tickets. And I also want to say very quickly as well that this coming Sunday, club members, we are going to church at the Wesleyan Holiness Church at Box Hill at 10 o'clock this coming Sunday. All right? So please, club members, bear that in mind. How we need to get to what we main... Oh, we have another call online? Good evening, you're live. All right, we
Just want to
lost
say
a caller.
one other thing, Eric. Just to let the general public know who the members of the Gingerama Central Committee are. You have yourself, Eric, as the chairperson, Jasmine Herbert. We have Sandra Brown. We have Bridget. She's from Tongue, but her roots originated in Rollins. We have Keisha
Hobson, yeah.
Hobson. We have Meredith Field. We have Nikita Liebert. We have Tracy, and we have Tracia.
Yes.
So these are the key persons,
Core members.
core members charged with the responsibility of organizing the Gingerama Festival.
Thank you very much, Abo. And as I said, we've spoken a lot about Gingerama.
And your friend, forgot her name. She works at Community Development. Pan Hill.
Veronica.
Veronica.
How
Veronica,
could you? Veronica will kill you.
I apologize.
She will kill you. All
I
right.
apologize,
Okay,
Veronica.
I think we need to get to the main thing that we're here to discuss
Yeah,
tonight.
because we have a very important call that is going to come in at 9 o'clock.
Yes. We're here to, guess what? We're here to discuss, guess what? Culturama 45. Could you imagine that? That's why I'm so excited, because we've never had a discussion on Culturama so quickly. Can you recall? We are discussing Culturama 45 because guess what? Culturama 45 will be the biggest thing ever to hit the shores of Queen City Nevis. And so we are starting our promotion. We are starting our preparation in earnest because we are insisting that it has to be the biggest Culturama ever. We have a call online. Good evening, you're on the mark.
Good evening, Mr. Eveling.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
evening.
You sound like you're ready to join a troop for next year.
You are the people see me all bongo break up now. So before you get into Culturama, I would like to announce the Nevis Blind, Light and Visually Impaired Society will having our luncheon on the 28th of this month.
Okay.
So Wednesday, the last Wednesday, cost $25. Thanks to the public for supporting us as usual, those who are selling tickets, those who are donating. But I'll talk about it again, you know.
Fantastic.
But I just want to sensitize the public.
Great.
I want to say that you had a very good program last week.
Thank you.
You know, maybe you don't make us sleep long before 8 o'clock. So we wake up minutes to 10. But I listen.
You don't normally go sleep early.
Yeah, that's what it takes. But I listened to it the next day, and I think it was very interesting.
Thank you.
But you know, when it comes to solid waste, me always in a solid waste corner, you know.
Okay.
Always.
You're always in a lot of people's corner. We thank you for
yeah,
that.
especially solid waste.
Okay.
You know, and I hope that you all will find something to do to get solid waste back their $10 from who ain't paying it on time.
All right, dear.
But we're gonna talk, you know.
Good. Of course we will.
All the best.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You too.
We have another call, Marcellus. All right, let's go, Abo. Let's
so
talk. Roll.
Culturama.
Let's roll.
Culturama 45. We know that and some persons maybe I like to give the history. Some persons might be wondering, if Culturama started in 1974, why are we celebrating the 45th anniversary in 2019? Now, we have a call, Marcellus?
We have a caller. Good night, caller. You're live on the mark.
Hi, good evening. Before you get into your meat and potato about Culturama...
I know what you're calling for. You're calling to promote your breakfast on Saturday, right?
Well, sir, yes.
Talk to me. Talk to the folks in Radio Land.
Okay, so the St. James Primary School, 40 years of age, on the 29th of November. And we're having a fundraising breakfast on Saturday, the 10th of November, in Brickhill by the ice cream parlor from 7 a.m. And you have your saltfish and your Johnny cakes and your bush tea and your all those lovely thing. So
Yes.
come on out and support the St. James Primary School for their 40th year anniversary fundraiser. We're celebrating the 40th anniversary for the whole year because you're 40 for the whole year.
Wow.
So we're spreading it all out. So there'll be other activities also.
Thank you so much, and I trust it will go very well. I urge people to go out and support. Thank you so much for
Definitely
calling.
Come for your plate as well.
Okay, you have
And
a
you have
wonderful
a-
night.
Take care now.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
dear. All right, take care. We have
And
another
so-
caller, Marcellus? All right, Abo, let's go.
And so I was saying that Culturama started in 1974. But in 1983, the federal administration decided that it is time for St. Kitts and Nevis to gain its independence from
Yes.
Great Britain. And so because the date of September 19th was decided as the date that we would go as an independent country, the Culturama celebrations, which normally would happen on the last weekend of July, first weekend of August, the Culturama celebration was suspended that year to give way to the
Independence.
the independence celebration. Hence the reason why we just celebrated Culturama 44 earlier this year, and the next year we will be celebrating our 45th anniversary. I needed to clear that
Yes.
because there are a number of persons who, when they do the maths, they keep asking, well, something is wrong.
Right.
But that is the reason why we are only now celebrating the 45th anniversary. That would be celebrated over the period July the 25th. It's going to be a Thursday, July the 25th, until Tuesday, August the 6th. Over that period, we'll be celebrating the 45th anniversary, or as I like to say, the 45th staging of Nevis's Culturama Festival. Well, we know that 45 is significant. 40 was significant, 45, 50, 25, 30, 35. And so we are planning a mega, notice the choice of word, a mega festival, a mega celebration to celebrate the 45th staging of the festival. Now, when we launched when we opened the Culturama 44, you as the minister you were given the opportunity to launch the slogan contest.
Yes.
And so the slogan contest has been running since the 26th of July this year. To date, well, up to yesterday when I checked the number of slogans, we had in excess of 60 slogans already.
Wow.
And slogans are coming in today because some persons who know my email address are sending the slogans directly to me.
And I bet you after tonight, they're going to have a flood of slogans again.
Exactly. Now, we have decided, and there's a reason why we have decided to cut it off this early. We're going to get to that reason after. But we have decided that Thursday, November the 15th.
That's next week.
Next week, Thursday. Let me put it in but better perspective. Next week, Thursday, is the cutoff point for the Culturama 45 slogan contest. So all persons
At
who have been
midnight?
at midnight.
Good.
All persons who have been thinking about it, who have been thinking and not doing anything, we want you to get your creative minds together, put on your thinking cap, get your creative writing skills in order, get your rhyming scheme in order, because we want you to pen entries into the slogan contest. Now the entries, as we have always stipulated, the entries should be short, sweet, catchy, spicy. It can have some rhyming inside of it. We are not looking for any lengthy slogans. Short, sweet, catchy, spicy, no more than 8 words. Because then you must remember that the slogan has to go on our letterheads. And so we do not want anything lengthy that will take up a lot of space. Also, our contestants, they usually use the slogan as one of their punchlines in their speeches. And so we do not want to tie up their brain with a very long slogan. And so hence the reason why we are requesting that it is short, it is sweet, spicy, catchy, and the winnings for that, well, for now, because the committee has not yet decided whether or not we're going to spice up the winnings.
Actually, I was just going to commit to spicing up the winning.
So for now, it's going to be 2 complimentary passes, season passes to all Culturama 45 events, and a winning, a plaque.
Well, I am going to commit now that the winner will get a cash prize as well.
Okay, fine.
$500.
Okay. The minister...
I am committing that.
You have heard it from the minister, so we are going to add that.
So from tonight, I told you're going to get a flood of slogans.
Add that. So it's going to be a cash prize of $500.
First time, right?
First time.
Right.
2 complimentary passes to all Culturama 45 events, plus a plaque.
Marcellus is looking for pen and paper.
What more? Tell me, Eric, what more can they
I don't know. We have a caller online. Good evening. Good evening, caller.
Good evening. How are you doing?
I am wonderful, sir. How are you doing? Listen,
myself.
we are having so much fun that we were not even ready for your call yet. But should we take the call? Let's take the call.
Let us release the beast.
All right. Well,
and Tessa, I hope that you're listening, because this is your section, Tessa.
All right, sir. Could you go ahead and just identify yourself and tell us why you're calling to On the Mark tonight?
Good evening. My name is Noah Mills.
Yes.
I'm chairman of the St. Kitts Nevis National Carnival Committee.
And
I was advised that you guys are going to be making all sorts of announcements
this
evening, and I know I can vouch for the fact that since being chairman in 2015, the Culturama Committee has worked closely with the Carnival Committee. Ministries continue to work closely of culture and tourism as well, and in celebration of your 45 years of Culturama coming up next year, let me extend early congratulations on such a monumental achievement.
Thank you very much.
And of course, we are having tons of partnership activities between Culturama and Carnival this year for Sugar Mars 47.
Oh, yes.
So I just called to create the forum for us to discuss a few of those activities. And with your permission, open up the line to any Nivision or listener anywhere in the world who might want to ask a question specific to Carnival, Culturama, as it relates to the partnership.
Right. And I must say from the onset here, Mr. Mills, that I have to say kudos and commendation to you. I know you would have called me several times, you would have messaged, you would have visited my office, you would have made several overtures, because you have insisted that we need to have more partnership, better partnership, more collaboration between Culturama and Carnival. You have insisted over the past weeks that, listen, we need a greater presence in St. Kitts from Culturama, and we are committed to doing just that.
Well, there are a few persons that no doubt Abo will endorse, as I thank. For example, the management team there at the Gingerland High School. Since 2015, I've been visiting all of the schools, Charlestown, Gingerland, as well as Miss Napier over there at the International High School. Gingerland has managed to send down a talented teen contestant. I've also visited, Abernathy has worked closely with us with respect to registration for soca and calypso artists coming down after Culturama and performing in Carnival. We've stretched out our hands, Abo. I know we can't figure out the correct model as yet, but we've tried to get some of the adult parade troops from Culturama to come down logistically and financially. It has proven to be a little hurdle. I would have spoken to Sion Shiverton on quite a number of occasions, and we haven't managed any success with that. Let me say thank you to Shiverton, Jazik. Jazik continues to contribute significantly to the Junior Calypso fraternity and sorority over there in Nevis. And oftentimes we have, in some of the tiers, we have 2 tiers, unlike Nevis. I think you only have 1, but for the junior we have primary and talent and teenage Calypsonians. And there are times when in both sections you might have the equivalent, if not more, divisions coming down for the Junior Calypso. And Jazik is the backbone of that program. I've been apprised over there in Nevis.
Yes.
Well, he has been the backbone of the Junior Calypso show in Nevis as well. In fact, this year, he was awarded by the Nevis Cultural Armor Committee for his contribution to the development of our Junior Calypsonians, the whole staging of the Junior Calypso contest over the past, I think it is 6 years. And he was given a plaque in honor of his significant contribution. So yes, Jazik has played a major part.
Excellent, and he's always a phone call away. For example, in September, I would have called him, and he would have already forwarded the audio of the songs that were performed by, I think it was 14 junior artists you had this year.
14, yes. 14.
And our music specialist down here, in the likes of Nigel Williams, is already putting the score sheets together for those to participate. Another thing I'd like to mention and thank both of you for, we would have visited Nevis on 2 occasions in the past, let's say 6 weeks or thereabouts.
Yes.
The first one was the Youth Developmental Calypso Program. We had a few weeks down here in St. Kitts, and then we moved over to Nevis. And of course, you would have allowed us so graciously to use your, if I may call it, your new facility.
Yes.
Our the conference facility at the village.
Beautiful. The conference facilities, my. I like to hear that. And again, the chairperson, Sandy Wilkins Francis, and myself, we came over just last Saturday to have a meeting with some of the parents to ensure that we were on the same page in the same book as it relates to staging of Sugar Mass 47 Junior Calypso.
Yes. So maybe what we need to do now is to start to talk about that collaboration that we're going to be doing for Sugar Mass for this year. Of course, we know that we are preparing heavily for Culturama 45, and I know there's some stuff that are planned. I'm not privy to all of what has been planned, and Abo is here. Abo can speak about some of those activities. No, you can speak about some of those activities as well, because we want the people to be aware that, listen, St. Kitts and Nevis, we are one, and we want more collaboration, more participation from us here on Nevis for the carnival in St. Kitts for this year in particular. We want it to be unprecedented in terms of our participation and the collaboration and the partnership.
Definitely. I don't know if Abba wishes to kick off.
No, well, you have more information about the first activity, so I would allow you to go first.
Well, let me just open by saying tons of Calypsonians and soca artists have registered. Some who have not been in the competitions have decided to participate this year. So again, we are thanking the Nivision Fraternity and Sorority for that. We have a number of females doing both soca and calypso down here. And that's very, very beautiful when we are extending the parameters across gender boundaries. With respect to, let me say also thank you to Corey. For a very, very long time, since 2015 actually, since becoming Carnival Chairman, Corey and I have had several conversations about getting the greater participation from Nevis in terms of competition, in terms of actually on the streets. I'm not talking about the spectators, because we are thanking all of you for coming down each year and contributing to St. Kitts. If I were to segment it, the St. Kitts economy, you know, you come down for Juve, you come down for the parade and last lap, which is a huge introduction of money into economy. And similarly, hopefully, we do the same thing for Culturama when we come up. But this year, we've sat down since about 2 months, and don't quote me on this name, but the name was tossed around by Corey, saying it was almost a Nivision invasion. Invasion has its connotations, so I don't think that is the name that we would finally go with. But these, looking at 4 bands, 4 DJs, about 10 to 12 Calypsonians, or 8 to 10, sorry, and 8 to 10 soca artists. And we are thinking about them coming down for this Sugar Mass Carnival, and the date is December 7th. I repeat, let me just
Friday.
December 7th.
Friday, December the 7th, yeah.
And we are going to be matching that. Now, I don't think we'll match the number of bands, because it would mean 8 bands, 8 DJs, and 20 Calypsonians, 20 soca artists. We're going to take 3 days for that. But we will definitely put some of our major bands. I've already contacted, for example, Grandmasters, and they have said yes. I will contact one or two more. We have already booked at least one DJ, and it's going to be a fair where we move from Calypso. And it's almost St. Kitts versus Nevis, but it's St. Kitts plus Nevis. It's not a competition, but we're showcasing the talent that comes from both of the islands. Now, the good thing about that, the next day, the very next day, we move up to Nevis for the back hall. So I'm inviting both Abernathy. There is a space for older folks. I notice I'm whispering that, older folks, to come to a session like this, the division collision, if you want to call it that, and then we move straight from the party site onto a party boat, have drinks and music going over, and then we go around Nevis. So that's one of the very, very big...
But Noor, not cutting you off, you haven't invited the younger people like myself, and I'm disappointed.
No, forgive me, I classified you and Abba in the slightly...
I am not in the older category, so...
Slightly older. Notice I said slightly older. So I am looking forward to that. And interestingly enough, and I give kudos and halos to both the ministry over there, the Cultural Foundation and the Culturama Secretariat, because Corey has said that all entities are working because this is indeed a high-cost activity. Because to talk about 4 bands, 4 DJs, transportation of resources, equipment, individuals, perhaps some rooms for changing meals and beverages for both sets of entertainers, it is indeed a high undertaking as it relates to cost. But he has told me that the Culturama Secretariat, the ministry and the foundation are teaming up to make this happen.
Yes, definitely.
We will make it happen.
Now, the other things, of course, for example, I think it's time that we agree with some royalty from your end coming down for the parade. What do you think, Abba?
Yes, so we met with the marketing team headed by Huey Sargent last week, and we discussed some options. Actually, we would like to have a presence in St. Kitts for the street activities. So we are looking to have a band on the road for Juve Morning, and we are also looking to have a troop/float. We have not yet finalized what it's going to be as yet on the road for Carnival I wouldn't say Monday, but for the parade and for the last lap. The Grand Carnival Parade on what, January the 1st?
Correct.
And January the 2nd for the last lap. So we want to have that presence, bring down our Culturama 44 winners, the Miss Culture Queen, the swimwear, the Soca Monarch, the Calypso King, the Junior Calypso King, the Mr. Cool, all of the Culturama winners. And we are also, or we will be throwing out the idea of inviting participation from all of our troops that would have participated in Culturama to be a part of a grand spectacle that we want to create on the streets of Bastille come January the 1st and 2nd. And so plans are progressing at a pace to have this, or make this a reality for the upcoming celebration of Sugar Mass 47. Now, no, we are doing all of this. I do not know if you were listening earlier, to kind of kickstart our promotions for Culturama 45, a significant staging next year. And so we, from this rostrum, I would like to say a big thank you to your minister, to the Department of Culture, to the Carnival Secretariat, to you as the chairman, the Carnival Committee, for extending the hand of friendship over to us here on Nevis, and for allowing us this partnership to be able to promote Culturama during Carnival. And so we also, because Carnival comes right behind Culturama, we would like to reciprocate and offer that opportunity to you next year to be a part of Culturama 45 in terms of promoting the 48th staging of Sugar Mass Sugar Mass, yes.
A few things, thank you very much, but a few things. With respect to the band for Juve, do you have your fingers on who it might be as yet? Which band?
We have not yet nailed it down to which band it's going to be, but we are in the process of because I know that trailers are going to be, well, will be a challenge, so we are making plans on our end to bring our own trailer, bring our own cooler with drinks and food, and our promotional video, our promotional jingle, our promotional banners, posters. We want to invade Sugar Mass 47.
Come back to that invasion. So of course, I would hope that this partnership coming from your end is not only going to surface because it's 45 years next year.
It's going to be coming every year.
Long beyond you.
It's going to be coming every year, no.
Minister.
Yes.
Okay, additionally, I have a few other things to ask with respect to the which band. I was wondering if by chance it's going to be Core, because if Core comes down here, they cannot give Kititians anything except a long jam. So we need to discuss the route with the police officers. I don't know if they're going to be coming from Keon into Bastia.
That is something. Well, you see, no, if we bring the Core band to do a long jam in Sinkits, we can damage you.
But then I have to say as well, no, I have to tell you that, listen, the long jam is unique to Nevis, and as the minister, I have to say we're keeping the long jam in Nevis only. All right?
Okay,
don't get upset. That is our signature thing in Nevis, and we don't want to lose that. All right? Even though we're going to be invading this year, the long jam remains in Nevis.
I understand.
All right?
I understand. Abo, I would have asked, and I think she would have reported that she definitely did have one or two conversations. The current chairperson for Junior Carnival.
Yeah, we spoke earlier this evening, and so that's another initiative that we are undertaking to have some of the junior costumes that were paraded during Culturama 44 to be a part of Sugar Mass 47 Junior Street Parade.
Now, do realize that is the 31st, eh? They start on the 31st and then they come out again on the 1st.
Fine, yeah.
Okay, what about you have your fingers on any one of the troops who would have been a part of your Culturama this year? Anyone
well, no, because
they're excited about coming down?
Because this discussion is coming now. I do not think that they have costumes, but there is a plan that we have, and I would not want to disclose it on here until when we have it finalized. But it is something that we're working on. That is 90% certain that we will be able to pull it off.
So we can expect to see a junior carnival troupe coming from Nevis, as well as an adult, a Grand Parade carnival troupe coming down from Nevis as well.
We are presently working on it, and this is a good platform to launch that, because persons who are listening, I'm sure that they will be calling the Secretariat tomorrow to find out about
participation
in what we are planning
well,
for the invasion of Sugar Mass 47.
That the Carnival Committee down here putting on, and I know you've confirmed that I have your colleague there skirting around telling me he may or he may not. Because the relationship that we're talking here between Sinkits and Nevis, Culturama and Carnival, I think it's something that we think should be extended regionally. So there's a conference down here called the Caribbean Carnival Chairman Conference. You've already contacted the office saying you're coming down. Are we going to see the minister traveling with you as one of our guests as well?
Well, the minister, if you were listening to the earlier segment of this program, the minister is the chairman of Gingerama. And so by virtue of the fact that he is a chairman
of a festival,
a major festival in Sinkits Nevis also, he will be, or he has already, And if he's not, he done it as yet, he will be, and this is mandatory, registering to be a part of that conference. And so his attendance is 100% guaranteed.
And let me just tell you, some of the speakers we have, for example, you may know that Gypsy is currently the chairperson of the foundation in Trinidad.
Yes.
He's going to be coming down and talking to us about the metamorphosis of carnivals, where they have traveled over the years, how they moved from the cultural and folklore aspects into soca and beads and bikinis, and what we can do to preserve. We have another gentleman coming from Barbados, Dwayne Zett. He's going to be presenting on sponsorship, relationship management, how we can sell our individual countries as carnival packages. For example, Culturama is around the same time with which other countries carnival during the course of the year?
There's Barbados, there is Antigua, there is Anguilla, and I think there's Grenada as well.
Could you imagine if we start teaming up with hotels, car rentals, airline agencies, and saying, Canadians, UK folks, come down and spend 3 days in Antigua.
And I think there's Caribana as well in Canada.
That is the sort of regional and international exposure we're going to be discussing at this convention. Now, you asked about me listening. I came in on the back end of it because tomorrow, actually, and it should have been done a long time ago, and we're just getting around to it. Tomorrow, the minister is going to be unveiling some costumes from Carnival. They're going to be at all of our terminals. So I was with one of the designers, Troop Solid, Paula Heiliger. She's the one who would have procured them for us. They're going to be revealed tomorrow at the airport, at the cruise terminal, as well as the ferry terminal. We have that formal ceremony. So I rushed back to the office, and I did hear about Gingerama and all of the plans, but it was the back end. I did not hear that he's the chairman. I heard you when you were listing some of the committee members, and you accidentally forgot one, Abu.
Who is that?
The lady. He said
Veronica.
Veronica. Yeah, Veronica.
Remember?
Yes, Veronica.
Yes, but I didn't know that he is also the chairman.
He has been the chairman since 2015.
Excellent. So 45 years, very big, very big in any part of the world. 45 years, a monumental achievement. And all of the diversity of Culturama. I've had a chance to visit. I love how the village looks over there. Love it to the point where, hey, hopefully one of these days we will have something over in St. Kitts that remotely resembles that village. It's so beautiful with the lights and the layout and everything else. You're accurately, I think, blending folklore and entertainment. Your wet fets are phenomenal in terms of turnout. Not only musicians, kittitions, but persons coming in just for those events. So it appears as if you definitely have the formula of blending folklore and culture and heritage with, if I may use the term, young people activities, fests.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, Noor, anything else you want to let the public know?
No. I think I spoke to you about it already. And, we have troops like Solid and Ultra. Ashley Alice has Fun Vibes. We have Juve troops. So I have booked you, Eric, with Extreme, and they're coming in Speedos this year and a tight-fitting sleeveless shirt. It's a two-piece. So I have signed personally as a chairman. I will be taking care of your expenses. Part of Carnival Junior down here.
Thank you very much, Noor. We'll talk about that more.
To go in Red Devils.
All right.
And make sure you book my package with Ultra.
Oh, with Ultra? Okay then. That's all, brother.
Noor, it has been a pleasure having your call, and you were very, very much precise on the dot for 9. Thank you very much. You have added so much to the mix this evening, to On The Mark, and it was certainly a pleasure having you call in. And we thank you so much. We look forward to our partnership and for our collaboration.
Certainly, and on behalf of the Carnival Committee down here, the Department of Culture, the Ministry, along with the Minister, the Honorable Sean K. Richards, and by extension, the government, we say thank you for working in tandem with us as we build a greater nation based on culture through Culturama and Carnival.
Thank you so very much, Noah. We'll talk again soon. Thank you.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Have a wonderful evening as well. Good evening, you're On The Mark.
Good night. Hello, Mr. Honorable Premier.
No, this is not the Premier. This is Eric Evelyn. Good night.
Good night, Mr.
How you doing?
Evelyn.
How you doing?
We're giving thanks for life, and how you doing?
I am doing pretty good, thanks.
And good night to your listeners of Van Radio, as the program is as on the mark, right?
Yes.
Well, basically, I would like to just say some situation we gotta really look at when it comes to our people, especially when you history when we contain for our generation to come. And really, both the island of St. Kitts and Nevis don't make the corporation to see that the history being taught, valued about the struggles that we have been facing during the time of the colonial era and even now. Because we're trying to pursue a value to consider of basing context of how we want to live in the outer world, but we don't look for our own people in our own status. And this is something that really failing the generation today, because we only accumulate for the outset of what brought into us by these colonial masters. And when we look at our own narrative now, we try to move away from it, but we can really step in the ground to make sure that we don't lose our history, because if we do lose our history, we lose our whole life, because history is very valuable and a president for us as a people to move and rally for social equality, economical equality, and even spiritual equality, because we realize a lot of the things that are affecting our people, and some of our gangs don't accumulate that, but we engage in it because of the context of the outer world have pursued on our shores, and we can't continue this, Mr. Evelyn.
Thank you very much, sir.
Hope that you all from this Nevis Island administration wake up and understand. It ain't about just getting rich, it's about understanding how we could balance the sustainability around your people. Because if you continue to just see that you let the outer world come on your people's shores and then really understand the ways of how we shall able to adapt to changes, we're going to feel the demands that we are looking at.
All right. Thank you very much for your contribution.
I would like to say, Mr. Evelyn,
yes.
How you view as a member of the Nevis Island administration, seeing that the CARICOM Commission have embarked on a report when it comes to the discussion of cannabis marijuana in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, and even in the collective aspect of the Caribbean region. What are your view as a member of the Nevis Island administration, and seeing that the Nevis Island administration is a part of the federal government, where they have representatives from the local government aspect to the federal government? So what are your view as a member of the Nevis Island administration?
Well, I have to say, right, we are deep in conversation on a particular topic. We're discussing Culturama 45, so I would not be able to give my views right now. So I have to tell you that I have to reserve my views at the moment where that is concerned, because it will take a little time to discuss it. And as I said, we are deep into the heart of discussing Culturama 45, which is a big year for us next year. We're collaborating with Carnival, and so that is what the meat of what we're discussing right now. So as I said, I really won't be able to provide any views right now on that.
Well, I hope that you can able to see some discussion come along with that from you.
Yes, it will come in the future, sir. Thank you very much for your
and keep you all safe.
Thank you very much, and you have a good night. All right, do we have another call online? Good evening, caller.
Good evening.
Yes.
Eric.
Yes.
I promised I would call back.
I was expecting you to call back. I would have been disappointed if you didn't.
But you had His Excellency Mr. Noah Mildan.
Yes.
And so I had to give way to him.
Mm-hmm.
My heart is full tonight.
Yes.
Because what I'm hearing is that Abo finally is listening to me.
Listening to Tessa.
Finally is listening to me. 26 years I've been back living in Nevis, and I always wondered, because I was a part of organizing troops, why spend all of this money for costumes for one day when we had the opportunity to extend that? Now, I know sometimes we get crazy on the streets and we tear up the costumes and we ruin them after that one day. But it is so good now to hear that the troops are being encouraged to participate in the National Carnival.
Yes.
And vice versa. Where do I start? Wow. Abo, when I see you again, I got to kiss you special, you know? Because
Not in public, eh? Don't want too many
you
people- don't
are
want too many people to
launching
see.
Culturama at the National Carnival time in December. And you and I have had many conversations about this. So I'm so happy to hear this is finally happening. I'll take it one step further, Abo, and I hope whoever is responsible is listening tonight, that, and I'm going to say we because you and I have always been silent partners on this, we're coming at the music festival because Culturama is going to be on the music festival stage next year to get that exposure.
This year, Tessa, we were afforded the opportunity to run our ads during the 3 nights at music festival. So we have made that breakthrough.
Wonderful. I don't participate in a lot of these things anymore, so I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah.
But let's take it one step further. Put the contestants on that music festival stage. Anyway, let's go back to December. So I'm so excited to hear this is happening. And start the ball rolling early.
The ball don't start to roll a long time, you know.
Ball rolling early. I'm excited. And Eric, you know what? You and I always agree on everything, you know, but we're going to disagree tonight. Because I
That's
want
okay.
to see Sinkits people being introduced to the, and I'm going to give it a different name, the long jam. I want to see it started in Gingerland and end up in Bastille. We got, the Seabridge got 2 boats over there sitting down. Move the bands across there. Move the people around it so that Nevis divisions get a chance to show. And heck, if we got to take it all the way to Sandy Point, let's do it. Okay? Or we can start it at the peninsula and do the peninsula to
I hope you're going to be a part of it in your hot pants.
Lord, you're going to give me in a lot of trouble. But anyway, I really am excited to hear this because, as I said, so much money. And in the recent times, we've had some beautiful costumes in Nevis.
Yes.
So much money being spent for a couple of hours in one afternoon. And so I'm encouraging those who've been in troops, if you have any semblance of your costumes left, put them together and end up in Bastille to show off what Nevis has. There's usually a cruise ship in or a couple of cruise ships in. We got to show the rest of the world what Nevis, not only what the National Carnival. And thank you to Noah to extend it. I guess our Honorable Premier always talks about one Nevis. Now we're going to become one Sinkit Nevis, at least culturally.
Well, we are already in unity long time, so we're just extending it some more.
You and I will discuss that. But I have bigger expectations than what I see happening right now. But anyway, but I'm just so excited to see this and to encourage you guys. I know it's a lot of work.
A lot of work and a lot of money.
And a lot of time.
You know, I've been endorsing this because I've been saying, I mean, after Noah have been making the overtures, I told Abba, listen, we absolutely must have a presence on St. Kitts. But I know Abba's going to bring a bill to me. They're going to bring a budget to my ministry. But listen, my ministry is going to be supporting this wholeheartedly because this has to happen.
Well, it could be a trade-off. When our groups end up in St. Kitts, the National Carnival Committee must be prepared to give us the band and the trailer and whatever, and vice versa when they come to Nevis. But it's so good to see a coming together of the cultures because our people are one. This is one federation, and it's about time. 45 years it's taken us.
Yes.
45 years it's taken us. I started out as a child in Carnival because my father was in charge of the Nevis Christmas Festival. And, of course, Calvin Cabo Howell. So, you know it's kind of in my blood.
Yes.
Right? And so I've always wanted to see this. And, Abel, I'm extending to you publicly again. I hear. We can talk about the pay later, but I'm here to assist you with marketing to make sure that we get the absolute maximum amount of exposure that not only for the carnival, but for Culturama. And since I'm not in Vision, my focus is on Culturama. Culturama gets the exposure to bring more and more people people into our shores each year for Culturama. I already know of families that are planning their reunions next year during Culturama time, including my family, and they're doing it the year when there's so much that goes on in activity here. And so, Nivisions, let's rise up and join. And Abo, let me say to you one more time, good going.
Thank you.
Good going.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, have a good night. Good
Thank
show.
you. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for calling and for your contribution.
Eric, as Tessa was talking about getting our people back home for Culturama 45, I traveled up to Washington, D.C. a few weeks ago to accept an award. And during my acceptance speech, I could not do without putting on my second cap.
Good.
And so I used that opportunity while at the podium to extend an invitation, because we had a number of persons. You had persons from the South Florida Association.
Yes.
They were in attendance. Persons from the Heart and Hands
in New York.
We had one or two persons that came down from Canada, and so I used that opportunity to invite our Nivisions who are at that gathering to come home for Culturama 45. I know that the NEV-DC Association, they have given me a commitment that they want to be a part. Actually, they are looking for...
I hope they're going to be doing some sponsorship.
They started this year.
Okay.
The NEV-DC Association sponsored the Elizabeth Pemberton Primary School this year.
They did.
And they are looking to extend that involvement in Culturama next year.
Good.
They want to have a booth at the food fair. They are also looking to see if we extend or increase the number of booths at the cultural complex. They want to have a booth as well there. And so I just want to encourage the other associations, the one in South Florida, early in Williams, in the Heart and Hands. Bring down your people to Culturama next year.
Well, I would hope that next year will be a major homecoming for our Nivisions abroad. I know a lot of Nivisions abroad are actually listening to the program now, so we want you to start making plans. Start making plans to be in Nevis for Culturama next year. You absolutely cannot miss it. So start making reservations in terms of your vacation. Make sure you get your vacation on time so that you can be part of the festival for next year. So we want next year to be a major homecoming for Nivisions abroad, in North America, in Europe, in Canada, wherever you are. We want you to be home for the festival. But we still have a lot of information to share.
Yes,
and time is running.
Yeah, time is running. Our senior pageants, well, in fact, all of the contests that we will be having for Culturama 45, I want to touch on all of them. Let us begin with the senior pageants. The Miss Culture Queen pageant. We have already sent out invitations for persons to sign up to be a part of the Miss Culture Queen pageant, the Miss Culture Swimwear, and the Mr. Cool. In fact, this afternoon, in walking from my office to the outer office, I saw a returned, completely filled application form on the desk of the secretary. And so already...
Are you serious?
I am serious. I am serious. And there's another young lady who approached me yesterday while I was at a financial institution, and she wants to be in the Miss Culture Queen pageant. So we are already having interested persons. And so I would want to, this evening, to let the general public know that the registration process for the senior pageants, it was opened earlier this year, and it is still open. It closes on Friday, September. Friday, January Friday, January the 11th, I think it is. Yes, it is the 11th of January. Let me be certain. I thought I had it on the paper there. Yes, it's Friday, January the 11th. We will close the application process for Miss Culture Swimwear, Mr. Cool, and the Miss Culture Queen pageant. Application forms are already available at the Culturama Secretariat. They are already available online at www.culturamanevis.com. And while I'm on that, let me go back to the slogan. You can submit your slogans to this email address, slogan@culturamanevis.com. And once you send your slogans to there, we will get it, download it, and compile it into the list. What we want to do for the slogan is that it closes on the 15th. And so the very next week, Tuesday, we want to convene a meeting of the Nevis Culturama Committee. Select the slogan. Immediately, we will send the slogan over to our graphic designer, who is already mapping out a design for Culturama 45. Because, as I said, we want to have...
the logo?
Well, the poster, the promotional poster.
Okay, promotional poster.
Promotional poster. We want to have the promotional poster ready for when we
invade St. Kitts.
And we have already spoken to an individual. As soon as we get our slogan, we have engaged the services of someone already to work on the promotional jingle. Because we want to, when we invade Sugar Mass,
we have our jingle
we
as
have
well.
our jingle. I visited NTV last week and I sat with Kerry. Kerry has assured me that he already has a concept for the promotional video. So when we go to Sugar Mass 47, we will be going. Actually, the suggestion is that when we get down the vehicle with the float, we want to have a big screen, 60-inch, and that big screen will be showing our promotional video as we go through the streets of Bass.
We mean business, SKB. Here we come.
On January 1st and 2nd. We are serious about marketing our festival during Carnival 47. So, in terms of the Mr. Cool we are looking for, the applicants must be born male, and they must be between ages 18 and 30 years. They must be citizens of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, either by birth or by descent, non-nationals who have been resident in the Federation or must be resident in the Federation for a period of not less than 12 months. You ever call Marcellus?
Good evening, you're live on the mark.
Good evening, Mr. Evelyn.
Good evening, sir. I think I know this voice. Good to hear you.
Yes. And Abu.
Yes, good evening.
How are you doing?
I think I know that voice
yes,
too. Yeah, you know. I'm not going to call your name, I know the voice.
Good to hear you.
All right.
You book your ticket already for next year?
Yeah, my ticket is... No, I didn't book, but...
But I know you're coming.
Yeah.
I know you're coming.
You just have to click the mouse. It's right there. Just like Packer, you have it there. You just have to click the mouse.
Yes. Talk to us.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yes. Now, what you guys is doing is a very, very good undertaking. And sure, people, it's about enjoyment and celebrating and, all the good stuff. But it's also helping the economy of Nevis.
Yes.
Because after, we have Culturama, then we have the Independence, where people, come down and celebrate. So now you have Gingerama. And if you have Gingerama, sure, quite a number of people from Gingerland, will be coming down and, staying in the hotels, renting cars and, buying food and whatever it is. And then you have Winfest. I'm just calling to find out what's happening with the Winfest. I didn't hear anything this year.
Well,
they had their festival this year. Winfest did come off this year.
And there's another festival, the STT Fest.
Yes.
That happens over the
St. Thomas's
Parish
Festival.
Right, right, exactly. But those functions, you know, like how you're promoting this, they need to promote it more and, you know, I mean, give more time anyway, you know, maybe 2 months, 3 months, whatever it is, or because then people would know more about it and be willing to come and celebrate and make the function much bigger than, you know, what they are presently. And it will also help the economy of Nevis, because at some of these times is when it's a little slow with the hotel. I mean, they have rooms, and you can get a even better price on the room then.
You know what we have noticed
to work with you.
You know, that, as you mentioned, the hotels, you know what we have noticed over the past 2 or 3 years, that formerly the hotels would close during Culturama, and we have noticed that they are now keeping their doors open during the Culturama period. It means that something good is coming out of Culturama for these hotels.
Yes. And again, with the other, you know, Wake Off, with Gingerama and St. Thomas's, and then
the Windfest.
Yes.
These times, it can only help. It
Yes.
can only help with the economy of Nevis.
Yes, it certainly does.
And you guys keep up the good works.
Thank you.
And I'm hoping that you all get the support that is required
Yes.
to keep the functions going.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, and have a good evening.
Thank you, Sadio. Have a good night.
And Eric, just to, as he spoke about the other community festivals, I want to big up the folks at Community Development, the director, Mrs. Meloni, for the tremendous effort that they have been undertaking in terms of keeping the, well, not keeping, but promoting reviving the community festivals and keeping those that have been around, like Windfest, keeping them afloat over the years. The Windfest, the STT Fest that has been revived, and what is the other one? The Gingerama. They play an integral part in all of these community festivals. We just now need to encourage them to reach out into the 2 other communities, St. Paul's and St. John's, to organize community festivals in those areas, and then we'll have the 5 parishes in Nevis covered. Now, what is the importance of these community festivals to Culturama? Culturama would now look towards these community festivals for contestants, for Calypsonians. And so, you know, we want to encourage the persons in the St. John's and the St. Paul's communities to go over and speak with the director at the Community Development Office, and have a community festival in your area.
And as you say that, Abo, I just want to say as well, because this is something that is burning in me all the time, and I know next year is Culturama 45, and I want to commit that for next year, every parish on the island will host at least something for Culturama, even a pre-activity. We've had activities over in St. James for Culturama. We've had activities in St. Thomas's for Culturama. We have had activities in other parishes, but I will ensure that every parish has an opportunity to host even a pre-Culturama activity for Culturama 45.
The Gingerama village, for sure, Eric, I'm a Gingerlander.
Yes.
And we have to have a Calypso 10, Calypso elimination.
We will ensure that every parish,
every
parish hosts even a
other
pre-event.
Other communities in Nevis. We want to take the Culturama to every single parish in Nevis.
Certainly.
And so, just to continue, because we're
running out of time. I told you 2 hours would not be enough.
So for the Mr. Cool, we were saying 18 to 30 years. Citizens of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. If you are not a citizen, you must be resident here for a period of no less than 12 months. You must be of good character with no criminal record or convictions in any jurisdiction. And when you apply, you return your application form along with a copy of your birth certificate or a photo ID. a full-length beachwear photo, and a headshot photo. And so we would encourage persons to apply for the Mr. Cool in terms of the Miss Culture swimwear and the Miss Culture Queen pageant. The Miss Culture Queen pageant, 18 to 25 years. The Miss Culture swimwear, however, 18 to 30 years, just as the Mr. Cool. There must be a born female between the ages of 18 to 25, Miss Culture 18 to 30, swimwear, citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis, either by birth or descent, or if you are non-national, you must be resident here for a period of no less than 12 months. The same thing, of good character, no criminal record or conviction in any jurisdiction. And so the application process, you return the application, your completed application form with a copy of the birth certificate or photo ID, a headshot photo, and a full-length swimwear photo. And so I want to encourage persons to move swiftly, because I think that the spaces are filling up. Move swiftly to get in your application. And for the other contests, the Soca Monarch, the Calypso, Junior and Senior, we want to encourage you to begin to pen your songs now. Early preparation is key towards your successful participation in these events. If you wait until the last minute to pen your songs or to pen your songs and have your songs recorded and produced, it would not have the same effect as if you come out early. And remember, for the Soca and the Calypso, we are offering an incentive for first release, and we are also, for the Calypso, offering incentives to the Calypsonians that release before the 30th of May. And
Abu, if I can stay here as well, I know you're stressing that early preparation for the Calypso, for the Soca and so on.
Talent and youth as well.
Right, but we also have to say as well that, of course, contestants and so on, they need to start registering, because remember, those especially who will be going in for the swimwear, they need to start going to the gym. They need to start getting their bodies in shape. And so you need to start early. If you can start this year, the better it is for you. You will have the advantage.
And also to take full advantage of the developmental sessions that we organize.
Precisely. So listen, all of those of you who are thinking of taking part, now is the time to act. Going down to the Culturama Secretariat from tomorrow. You have time until January to register. And how many contestants are we looking for?
We're looking for 6 for the Miss Culture Queen pageant, 5 for swimwear, and 5 for Mr. Cool.
Okay, you heard it there. 6 for Miss Culture, 5 for Mr. Cool, 5 for Miss Culture swimwear pageant. And of course, we will be encouraging the schools once again to take. But last year we had the junior, the revival of the junior cultural street parade that went out very well. And of course, we'll want the participation of all the schools again for 2019. And so we'll be looking forward for you to start making your preparations as well. Abu, is there anything else as we are running out of time? Any major other information you want to share with members of the public?
Just to let persons know that Culturama 45, as I mentioned earlier, is going to be a mega festival. Already, persons have written to the Culturama committee to organize fringe activities. Already, I have a written application from a promoter, a private promoter, who wants to partner with us to do an international artist event for Culturama 45. And I probably have that letter about sitting on my desk now for about a month. Also have an application, well, not an application, but a written request from Richard Paris, and he has a band in Detroit.
Universal Expression.
Universal Expression. They have already written to us, want to be a part of Culturama 45. I think they'll be producing a song or two that they would want to come down here with. And so
they're normally at that NEVDC event, right? Were they there this year?
They were not there this year.
Okay.
They were not there this year. But, you know, and talking about the NEVDC, Dr. Daniel Gilbert and Swagger, those guys are telling me that they are bringing a troupe also from NEVDC for Culturama this next year. And so things are heating up, Eric.
Very much so.
Things are heating up.
Very much, and that is exactly what we want to see. We want the hype to start now, and we want to take it straight through to Culturama 45. We're not going to lose any heat at all. I mean, we're going to create such a hype for Carnival in St. Kitts during December, and we want that hype to go straight through to July. What I'm thinking about, because of the fact that so many people will want to be have fringe activities for Culturama 45 as well, and there will be so many other activities that I believe that we'll have to have a lot more pre-Culturama activities as well. Because, of course, we know that the period for the festival itself, from when it is launched on Thursday, the 25th of July next year, until Tuesday, the 6th of August, it's a limited number of days, and everybody want to get inside there. But I have a feeling that we're going to have an extended period of pre-Culturama activities for 2019.
Yes, and so before we close, I just want to encourage, especially the Navy-Johns living in the diaspora, to begin to make plans. We have a call online.
We have a call online. Good evening. You are on the mark.
Eric, may I ask one last question?
Yes.
Will we see the completion of the upgrading of the Culturama complex?
Yes, Tessa.
For 45?
I actually was supposed to speak on that, but there's so many things that we want to talk about. Yes, we had phase 1 last year when we upgraded the staging area, and so we have already submitted something to the 2019 estimates, where we are now going to be upgrading the concessionary area, the booths, making them, bringing them up to health standards. And so we are going to see the completion of that. I know what your passion is, but that will probably come in another phase.
And of course, you cannot forget the media booths, because Marcellus is looking at you.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the media booths.
I was going to ask about the media booths and, of course, the VIP section.
Yes, those will be included in phase 2, which we want to undertake next year. And in order to keep the cultural village looking fresh, we are going to be repainting all of the containers at the cultural village, because we want to have the booths just like when we opened it. When it was last year?
Yes.
Last year. So we're going to be repainting all of those booths. We have a little challenge with the stage area at the cultural village. It has affected the performance of our soca monarch artists. When we had the Independence concert there were some challenges, and so we are going to be putting on an additional 10 feet on the stage as well.
Okay.
Right? So we are trying to make all of our venues more user-friendly, so to speak.
All right.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you so very much. And we just have to go into wrap-up phase now. I see Marcellus is looking at his time. He never gives not even an extra minute. And so he's looking at his time. We are running out of time. I did say that it's going to be a wonderful show tonight. It's an exciting show. We have a lot of enthusiasm. And, you know, Abo needs to say something
there's
else.
one other thing, Eric, that we did not make mention of. In order to solicit the ideas of the general public, we will be convening some town hall meetings.
Yes.
Before year end, we'll be going into to all of the parishes around Nevis, and we will set the dates, the times. We will let you know, and so we want to encourage all Culturama enthusiasts to come out to these town hall meetings and share your ideas with us. Listen out for the dates, and we will be coming into the communities to talk to you and to solicit your ideas.
Thank you very much, Abo. And of course, we want to say thank you very much to you. And of course, thanks very much to Noah Mills for calling, all the other callers. And we want to thank all of our listeners. We have run out of time, unfortunately, but it has been my pleasure once again hosting On The Mark tonight for the Honorable Mark Brantley. Of course, you can get another take of it tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Tune into the Eastern Caribbean Spa House. And thank you so very much for calling in. Thank you very much for listening. God bless you. Have a wonderful Wednesday evening. Thank you so very much.